Good morning, gang. Joyce with Skipping Cats Farms. Um, Sun's not quite come out from behind the trees, and we still have a bit. It's not really fog, but it's the remnant of the overnight dew, I guess you would call it. I'm doing this video this morning. Yesterday morning and yesterday evening, I did my first spraying with a phosphorus supplement, a liquid phosphorus. I just kind of wanted to document what the paddock looked like and wanted to kind of show the whole look of it here. Let me zoom in just a tad. Okay, and where did I spray yesterday? Well, I sprayed that whole fodder willow orchard and around the 75 willows, and then I sprayed out that section here down by the willow cuttings and across. So I didn't get all of that done. I'm gonna put you on hold and walk down and get a closer look at that area, but I wanted to see what it looked like when all of it was wet and how they kind of compared with each other. Thanks for holding. Hey gang, as I'm walking down there, I wanted to make a specific image here. This is what they call purple top around here. Now we're just coming out of a couple of months of really dry. But on this particular plant, you can see where you've got a lot of red in those leaves. I'm going to focus especially on this one. And then over here in the middle of the bunch, you can see another leaf that, even though parts of it looks like it's drought damage, the other part is really red. And as I understand, when your phosphorus is low, you are going to have some red tinting in your leaves. And again, it's not just the brown of the drought or the dry. This looks like the brown of the dry. A whole lot more. You don't see the red. But as I pan back around here to a plant that's next to the one we just looked at, you see again some of the really red leaves in amongst the brown and dry. So I just wanted to stop and take a moment and get an image of that so I can compare it later on. Let's get back down and we'll see where I sprayed. Okay, we're back at you now. What we're looking at now is back towards the truck box and that planting that I refer to as the 75 willows. I guess you can imagine why. Because I bought 75 willows and planted them there. And so basically from the beehives on our right over to the fence, the 3D fence on the left, which is going to be defined by the rebar, not the T-posts, all got sprayed last night. This area here, let me zoom back out. This area here I call the willow orchard, and as you can see, there's a number of stakes, and there's a pigtail that represents a sample, a soil sample. But I've got 11 stakes in the ground. I've got growing leaves on 9 of the 11 plants, and they have been struggling for a couple of years. The owner that I bought the cuttings from sold the business a few days later, or a very short time later, to some other people, and they gave me bad planting advice. They told me just to plant the bottom 12 inches. Well, with the rods, what I should have done is plant the entire thing in the ground and only leave 12 inches out. And here in Tennessee, we have what we call different winters. I think they call them like the 5 winters. There's redbud winter, there's blackberry winter, there's dogwood winter, and I'm missing one or two. Anyway, so it'll get real warm and then it'll get cold again. And these willows really weren't used to that, so they would bud out during one of the warm seasons and then freeze back. And that's what happened to all of these rods. Why, they grew out great the first couple of years. I had them in those tree tubes, and you're only supposed to keep them in the tree tube for a year. And so when I took them out of the tree tube is when all of that started to happen. So if you look, you can see it's green around the poles. Now, a lot of that is just watering them, because I would come out and water the willows. If I hadn't, I would have lost them all. But this entire area was sprayed yesterday with liquid phosphorus. As this little area here that I'm in, and I may very well get rid of this little stretch of fence. It really doesn't serve any purpose anymore. But I just haven't gotten to it because there's always something else that seems to be more significant, more imperative to do. And then last night, after I finished watering the grass on either side of the willows and watering the willows themselves, I came out and started from that fence post and went over to that fence post behind that willow cutting. And then you can see the garden hose here. So I basically was able to finish. I sprayed until I couldn't see, or almost couldn't see. So basically from where I'm standing straight over to where you can see that white styrofoam is where I sprayed last night. So I want to spray this other section. This other section is where I had the sheep do some pretty intensive grazing, and I wanted to make sure that this gets the holophos down. I'll be doing that this afternoon. You need to spray early in the morning or late in the evening. And we had rain yesterday. We were supposed to get a little bit of rain last night, but we didn't. So I've decided not to spray this morning because I didn't want to spray and then have the phosphorus dry up right away. But if I spray like at 6:30 or 7:30 in the evening, just before dark, then it'll be under 100%, 90 to 100% humidity environment for 12 hours, and that'll give that a chance to drip down and soak in or get absorbed. So that's the game plan. I know it's a real boring video visually. Regrettably, it seems like that's kind of the way it is when I'm trying to explain stuff. Can't really show you because I can't do it and video it at the same time because I only have 2 hands. But if you look, I had taken the one hen out of that dog cage, and this morning the 2 roosters were fighting over her again, and so I put her back in that cage for her own protection. And I didn't want her to get injured. She had healed up pretty good, and it didn't take them long. So I may have to make some decisions here about that second rooster, whether I want to keep him or not. So it's always something. It's not a bad thing. That's what makes what I do, part of what makes what I do so challenging, and that's what makes it fun for me, because I love the challenge. How can we make this work? How can we make this work? Look at little bit, man, she's just boogieing on along. Look at her move. Woohoo! She doesn't like the new rooster either. So I have a feeling that in the next day or so, probably what I will be doing is going into the chicken tractor after they've gone to roost at night, and I'll get a hold of him, and he will be the one that's going into the cage. So I may put him in the He-Man cave, which is what I originally built for my first rooster, because he was overzealous with some of the girls. And then we'll just go from there and see what we're going to do. So life on the property, it's always something. So with that, gang, I hope you enjoy having birds. If you don't, the eggs are awesome. If anyone is interested in getting some more information on my particular chicken tractor design, please let me know, and I'll be happy. It's kind of it's a combination of about 3 different people's ideas. So it's I can't give you information at one particular place. The basic box and the conduit, but not how it's bent, design was from Sokovich. I paid for the online drawings. It was a 2nd edition, and there were errors in the 2nd edition that I didn't find out about from him. I found out about it from other people who had built it and discovered that the measurements were incorrect. Regrettably, I didn't find those websites until after I cut my lumber. So, but the idea of the wire mesh and the 2x2 box on the bottom and the conduit overhead is really a great design. So with that, gang, I will wish you blessings for the day, and whatever you do, just keep chasing your dream. The birds say hi too.